The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 5 minutes. Follow the show on Spreaker.com or the Spreaker app and be a part of the show via the live interactive chat room. You can text your thoughts to 404-902-8104. Check out the Facebook live stream at facebook.com/OneMicWithBigMike. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 4 minutes. Follow the show on Spreaker.com or the Spreaker app and be a part of the show via the live interactive chat room. You can text your thoughts to 404-902-8104. Check out the Facebook live stream at facebook.com/OneMicWithBigMike. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 3 minutes. Follow the show on Spreaker.com or the Spreaker app and be a part of the show via the live interactive chat room. You can text your thoughts to 404-902-8104. Check out the Facebook live stream at facebook.com/OneMicWithBigMike. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 2 minutes. Follow the show on Spreaker.com or the Spreaker app and be a part of the show via the live interactive chat room. You can text your thoughts to 404-902-8104. Check out the Facebook live stream at facebook.com/OneMicWithBigMike. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 1 minute. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 30 seconds. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 5, 4, 3, 2.
One mic.
I'm back.
It's the One Mic with Big Mike show. Live.
There ain't no goddamn tape.
Interactive and on demand. One Mic. Yeah, a sports show.
The best move of LeBron's career, man, was dragging his sweaty ball sack right across Draymond Green's the nape of his neck and getting that dude suspended.
And so much more.
What's going on right now with Donald Trump? This is America, and it tickles me to death when white people are so shocked and appalled by it.
What? It's the One Mic with Big Mike show.
Of course, it's like anything, like ammonia or you sniffing glue is gonna get you high.
You've been warned. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts now. Here he is.
He's real cocky, he's real loudmouth, he's real flamboyant. He don't cow down to people.
Big Mike.
And welcome back from the weekend. Am I loud? I feel like I'm loud. Let me turn this down a little bit. All right, let's try it again. Welcome back from the weekend, man. Welcome into the One Mic with Big Mike show here, live, like I am every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, via Spreaker.com. The Spreaker app that's available for all your mobile devices. Just hit your app store up and download that situation. I'm also live on the TuneIn app as well. I'm also streaming live video on my Facebook page. You can get there at the number one, MICWITHBIGMIKE, at One Mic with Big Mike. Use that same handle to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to be involved in the show, you want to get in on some of these conversations I'm about to have tonight, or you want to start a conversation of your own, you can do so in a variety of different ways. One, you can text me at 404-902-8104. You can also jump inside my live and interactive chat room, or you can leave your comments and questions, your criticisms, your whatevers. You can leave them right below the streaming video here on Facebook. I have a hard time actually paying attention to the Facebook comments and whatnot, but I try. I'm trying to do better at doing that. So you can still leave them. I'll try to get to them, acknowledge them, and all those good things. Tonight's show, it's a Monday coming off weekend, championship weekend in college football. Had a crazy day in the NFL yesterday. Obviously, I got not obviously, but I got LeVar Ball news today. Some crazy ass stuff, more crazy stuff from your boy or some of your boys or whatever. Bottom of the hour, don't forget my every episode feature that I call On This Day, and then sometime before the end of the show, maybe at the top of next hour, a new feature that I have called What? We'll hear today from a starting quarterback in the NFL. What is a segment that I just find some funny audio, something that makes me laugh or made me kind of, chuckle a little bit. And I'll play it back for you guys so you guys can have fun with it as well. You can participate in it also. You can email me audio clips or things that you may have heard, or you can send them to me via social media. My email address is ONEMICWITHBIGMIKE, One Mic with Big Mike. You just have to spell out the numeral because apparently Gmail don't get down like that. You can't use a number. So you can send me whatever audio you think is funny, and I'll listen to it. And if I agree with your sense of humor, I'll run it. Or if it's just something peculiar, you know what I mean? Somebody says something peculiar, we can run it that way. It ain't always got to be, of the silly variety. Other than that, I don't know how long the show is going to be tonight. Like, I got all these little bitty things that have happened over the weekend and over, the course of today, but there's nothing really big for me to sink my teeth into. Like, I'm not offended. Let's start here. I'm not offended with what happened over the weekend in college football. I'm not. Championship weekend was what it was. It started Friday. We had USC and Stanford. USC beat Stanford to win the Pac-12. And then we started off on Saturday with the most entertaining game of the weekend with Central Florida and Memphis. The only real downer, I don't know if it's a downer, but if you're an alumni of Central Florida and you seen that program, come from where it was once at 0-12 2 years ago to now undefeated season and on the American Athletic Conference Championship, to now lose your head coach, the head coach that brought you to this level, it could be kind of disheartening. I'm hearing Kevin Sumlin. Well, I read, not hearing, I don't have sources. I read Kevin Sumlin is a guy who is in consideration for the job. So, there you go. My man, shout out to my man Terrell Troop, former Buffalo Bill or whatever, most notably known for the man who was picked before Rob Gronkowski, who will definitely talk about today. We'll talk about Gronk and some of this social media reaction that I'm getting to Gronk. As a matter of fact, as I say it, there's more coming in right now. I can tell by who it is what the subject matter is. Then we had Auburn and Georgia, and Auburn came down here to Atlanta. Man, came down to the Mercedes-Benz Dome. I got to get used to saying that, the Mercedes-Benz Dome, and put it on. Got put it on them by Georgia after they put it on Georgia a few weeks ago at Auburn. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, see, this is what I'm always talking about. I had to correct myself. When I'm always talking about emotional immaturity. Emotional immaturity is going to be on full blast because now Auburn's not playing at home. They're playing basically a home game for Georgia. But then I thought about it. I know where Auburn, Alabama is. It's probably as close, give or take a few miles, as Athens is from the Mercedes-Benz Dome. So to call it necessarily a home field advantage, it may have still been, but it's not as though like Auburn went to Athens. You know what I mean? It is still not the same as Auburn being, at Auburn either. But what we saw, it had a little bit to do with emotional immaturity because of the difficulty of how difficult it is to convince 20-year-old kids, 18, 19, 20-year-old kids that what they did 2 weeks ago, doing it again would be enough. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to motivate, even as hard as you may try to motivate a kid and say, you ain't do nothing. They was there. They saw that ass whooping. They felt it. What happened to Georgia that day after they weren't given a chance. And then they came back this week again on the other side of the ledger with Georgia and their guys being much more motivated and having being given second life when it comes to making the college football playoffs, when it comes to being an SEC champion, all these things, coupled with, of course, Kerryon Johnson coming into the game, 2 bad shoulders. He fumbled late in the game, or maybe, I don't know if it was that late in the game, but he fumbled. He had a crucial fumble in the game that hurt Georgia and hurt Auburn. And from the beginning of the game, Georgia played defense like we had been used to seeing that Georgia team, play defense. Now I have the opportunity where I can play all my little Georgia drops now.
The rightful king of the SEC, the Bulldogs of Georgia. Go, you silver britches!
There you go. There you go. Yeah, go, you silver britches. Or what about this one?
The Georgia down Bulldogs. Go Dogs, sick 'em!
I don't fancy myself. Well, for those of you who don't listen to the show, I don't fancy myself a fan of any particular team. It did get weird here. It got real weird here. My former co-host, Rob Calloway, oh boy, he got super weird, like posting like himself with these different filters on his face, representing the University of Georgia and talking to everything. It was Bulldog Nation, this and that and the other. And this, I don't know. I'm from Atlanta. Like, this is my home, and it's real funny, and it's always been this way. Because my dad is he's not a sports person. He's not someone who's like emotionally tied to sports or anything of that nature. So I didn't grow up with that. I didn't grow up with an emotional affinity for like teams like Georgia or the Falcons or anything. I just watched the games because I liked the sports, but I didn't really care like emotionally. And I grew into it eventually. I became, at one point in my life, I fancied myself a Cowboys fan. I thought I was a Bulls fan. I got older and realized, I was really just a fan, basketball-wise, of Michael Jordan. Because when he left, I was like, I don't care about these damn Bulls. I don't give a damn. And then as I got older in life, when it came to football and the Cowboys, I felt like I got more enjoyment out of just watching games. Without all the, your team sucks, my team is great, y'all gonna lose this week, and calling stuff me and us and we and ridiculous things like that. I actually got into it with a dude over the weekend about that because it was so weird. I made a joke. The Falcons lost yesterday, and I'll get back to this college football stuff, but this just came to mind. As we're talking fandom, the Falcons lost yesterday to the Vikings, and I made a joke about Applebee's $1 margaritas, Long Island ices, and the fact that their offensive coordinator has a drinking problem. And I put the two things together. They only scored 9 points yesterday, and dude got kind of wrecked about that. It's like, so damn what? They been giving away. They been selling them for $1. You late? And I'm like, okay. your your offensive coordinator is still a drunk. Like, what am I supposed to say? Like, I'm speaking fact. I don't know. I don't drink anymore. I haven't drank in like years now. Not because I had a problem. I just, life changed and I got older and didn't see the need for it anymore. But yeah, fans get weird about things like this. And, who's your team? I was like, well, I haven't made enough money to buy myself one yet, but I congratulate you on your purchase because apparently you have. I don't know. It's just weird. The we and the us. I just rather make money. I rather, like, if the team was going to have me doing we and us and me and me claiming stuff, I shouldn't pay for my gear. I shouldn't pay for my Julio Jones jersey. You should give it to me. If we all in this together. But it's one of the greatest tricks that's played in America. It has been for a long time. Getting poor people, average to poor people, to associate themselves with rich people when they have really nothing in common. Look at the dude in the White House right now. Just look at that. You know what I mean? He was in Utah today. Had them yahoos going crazy. Yeah, tax cuts. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Repeal and repair. What was it? Repeal and replace Obamacare. All right. All right. You let this damn con man rib your ass up. So anyway, the Georgia Auburn game. It was cool for a minute, but then you realize, I think we all realized at a certain point that Georgia was going to be too much. Them boys was mad. You know what I mean? They were mad. And when you're Auburn, and you do the Gus Malzahn thing, when you just run running backs into the damn ground. Like, this ain't even a number one running back. The other kid, Cameron Petway, ran him into the ground, ground him into a nub. Anybody remember Trey Mason? Trey Mason had, 55 carries in a college ball game? Come on, man. Really? And we'll talk more about that kind of stuff here as the show goes on as well, man. Because it relates to a lot of this money that's getting thrown around. Gus Malzahn, he just signed a new deal. Just rumors of him exploring Arkansas, more money. You know what I'm saying? We talked about Jimbo Fisher last Friday, and all Nick Saban is doing is waiting till the dust settle. Nick Saban just waiting till everybody get theirs. And he gonna come in, he gonna swoop in on the back end like, yeah, I need 10 more million than that guy. Whatever Jimbo's making, hook me up. No, I don't need a whole bunch of years. Y'all ain't gonna fire me anyway. I mean, but I just need money. I need the cash money. Yeah, that's all that's happening. And we'll talk about my man, I'm saying facetiously, my man Nick here in a little while. 404-902-8104. You can text the show at that number, 404-902-8104. You can also hit the little thought bubble icon you see on your streaming player if you're listening to me via Spreaker right now. It'll get you inside my live interactive chat room, or you can comment on the live Facebook stream that's going on right now on my Facebook page, which is at the numeral 1 MICWITHBIGMIKE. And then we had Miami, Miami Clemson. And before that game even started, you know what I said? I tweeted, I said, every dude, every chick with Photoshop is waiting on this game to get out of hand. This Miami situation, so they can mock. Yeah, so they can mock that turnover chain, because that's where we're at now. Like 15 years ago, the turnover chain would have been cool forever. It'd been cool as cool could get, right? But not now. Now we living in an era where you're not celebrating victory or celebrating accomplishment, at least not for long. Not before you start waiting on the downfall, on whatever's been built up, waiting for it to crash hard. And that's where this turnover chain ended. People cutting off half of the U because it made an L. You know what I mean? Putting the chain around, crying Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Like they put it on Kane from Menace to Society. Of course, wake up Kane, get up Kane. Y'all wrong, man. The internet is the devil. Like if I was to believe that there is a devil, it would be the World Wide Web. That's what it would be. Damn the horns and the tail and the pitchfork. No, it is www. Finish the rest. Whatever it is. Whatever it is Facebook, it is Twitter, it is Instagram, anything that you can type a hateful message. That, a lot of times, to be honest with you, is funny because I'm that guy. I'm going to laugh, but it's like, golly, man, you can't appreciate nothing. It even led me, speaking of this Miami Clemson game, which, by the way, Clemson pushed it all the way in. Miami scored with 3 points. I stopped watching after a while because you guys know who listens to the show. No, I don't watch no bad sports. I don't have to. It's too much other stuff on my television. I pay too much every month for cable to just sit here and watch something that is not aesthetically appealing to me. So anyway, the Miami situation happened, and everyone starts talking. Mark Richt can't win Mark Richt won a bunch, like that team, not Mark Richt. The team won a bunch of big games this year. It just so happened they were overmatched. That Clemson team is a professional team with a young quarterback. That's basically what you're talking about. This kid they got playing wide receiver, this little white kid, yeah, he's not going to the combine. He's not going to pro day. He ain't going to the draft. Like when the season's over with, however it ends, he going straight to New England. They got to draft him. They probably are the ones who created him. And he'll just go home. He'll just go home to Master Belichick. That dude is Humphreys, that's his name, built for what they do out there. So yeah, I'm interested. So we saw that. You also saw Oklahoma and Ohio State University. So yeah, we talk about Gus Malzahn, his new money, and the fact that Kerryon Johnson's out there. Like, he out there with both shoulders messed up, and they thought it was slick to not tell anybody which shoulder it was. We know it was both. We saw the game last week. We saw the Iron Bowl. Both of this dude's shoulders is crap. And he's supposed to be carrying the football against that thing that Georgia calls a defense. Don't let the first Auburn game fool you. They some real defenders over there. Some real ass dudes. They like to smoke a little bit of weed, but whatever. Who don't? You know what I mean? Like, who doesn't? One of their players, if you hadn't heard, one of the players, I think got arrested for a misdemeanor weed charge again, and everybody's losing their damn mind. Leave the weed alone, quoting Stephen A. Smith and all this kind of craziness, man. Like, come on, man. Like, stuff is so different now, where like a kid can't even go puff an L real quick without it being national news. It's college. There's like 20 million worse things that this kid could be doing. But we gotta make news out of him, like, puffing on a little dank. All right, whatever. But moving forward, OSU and I'm sorry, yeah, OSU and Wisconsin. I didn't even mention Baker Mayfield tore up Kenny Trill, Kenny Hill, and TCU for the second time this year. That was pretty much a given, man. I think it's also a given that Baker Mayfield is going to be the Heisman Trophy winner. Even though last year's Heisman Trophy winner, Lamar Jackson, had a much better season. Up in completions, up in completion percentage, up in rushing yards, up in total offense. Everything up from last year. But Baker Mayfield's on a better team. He's playing for the championship one. He's got a lot more what you would call Heisman moments. You know what I mean? Even though some of them may have a negative connotation to him, like him grabbing his junk and telling Kansas to F you, which I'm gonna keep it real. I ain't had no problem with it. The only I only have problem with how certain things are covered. You know what I'm saying? The kid from NC State, his name Chubb. He spat on the Seminoles logo in the middle of the football field, and people lost their mind. Like he spat on a real ass Native American. I mean, like his ground. He probably spit on everybody. Probably spat on the ground in that area a million times in the game, but because he did it purposely at the end of the game, he said it wasn't, but we all know it was. In order to disrespect the team that they just beat, it was a big deal, as though he actually put hands on somebody or did something to somebody. Nah, man. So a bigger deal was made out of that than the Baker Mayfield grabbing his junk on TV, and I felt like it should have gained equal time, maybe even more because of the position that the dude is in, and the fact that this kid is always into something. Like Baker Mayfield is the same kid that got arrested in the offseason for being publicly intoxicated. But one thing he knows how to do very well, is apologize. He got that part down. I'm sorry, didn't mean to offend anybody, didn't mean to do it, blah 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 blah. And like I said, I didn't feel like it was that big a deal. It's in the heat of the moment. They tried to, disrespect him at the beginning of the game by not shaking his hand or whatever. Gave him a couple late hits. Probably told him about them during the game or whatnot. And when it was time to put up them 40 points, yeah, my man he gave it back to him. It's all fair and love and war, man. So he'll probably be the Heisman Trophy winner. Big up to him. And then there's Ohio State, Wisconsin. This is the game, right? This is the game that was going, after we saw everything else play out, this was the game that was going to decide everything as far as whether you needed to watch this craziness on ESPN. You know, everything got to be a TV show. We're going to, the selection committee, just put it out on the internet and we'll figure it out. You know what I mean? But they got to do with the whole publication and the whole production out of everything. So it wouldn't have been much. It wouldn't have been much had Wisconsin won, because they were already ranked number 4. The other top 4 teams handled their business, but they didn't. JT Barrett and the boys went out there and pulled out a close victory against Wisconsin, which probably hurt them. The fact that the win was so close. As we turn now to how things did turn out yesterday, we got 4 teams in, right? The 4th team, Alabama, the 3rd team, Georgia. If you taking notes at home, that's 2 SEC squads. There's also a ACC squad, that being Clemson, and a Big 12 squad in that joint, Oklahoma, right, at number 2. So the matchups go like this. In the Sugar Bowl, you got Georgia. I'm sorry, not the Sugar Bowl. I'm sorry, the Rose Bowl. You got Georgia and Oklahoma. Then in the Sugar Bowl, you got Clemson and Bama. Now, here's the problem that, not the problem, but here's the whackness of it. Everybody want to talk about, oh, the committee's bogus, You really think that anybody, including you that's listening right now and myself, wanted freaking Wisconsin to win that game? You trying to watch Wisconsin play in the playoffs? I'm not. I'm all about that Alabama life. You know, I want to see the best. I've said this a million times on this show. I always want to see the best. I want to see the best talent possible on the football field at all times. Period. Before I get into that, I lost my train of thought, so let me go back to come forward. Back to this OSU Wisconsin game. JT Barrett had surgery last Sunday and played on Saturday. A running quarterback now. And as I'm saying this, and I heard Dan Le Batard say this morning, and you guys have heard me say it many a times, like, they got to stop trying to fool people. This is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, this is a professional atmosphere that we're talking about. The things, Kerryon Johnson, 2 bad shoulders. You know, Sony Michel got hurt in this game. Sony Michel's going to play in the NFL next year. And quiet as kept. I don't know if it's quiet as kept, but I feel like that dude's game, his style of play, makes him a better running back at the NFL level than Nick Chubb. That don't mean Nick Chubb is going to be some slaw dog or he's going to be sorry. I just think this kid Sony Michel, man, the way he puts his foot in the ground, the level of acceleration. Nick Chubb, a lot of times he out-physicals children and these kids on these other teams because he's so damn strong. But at the next level, everybody will be. Like Sony Michel, I feel like the way his running style is suited for the NFL. But with all this stuff happening, man, Jimbo Fisher getting 10-year deals. Willie Taggart, who's supposed to be taking Jimbo Fisher, well, they're looking at him to take Jimbo Fisher's job. Still, after the extension that Oregon offered him, even after that, Florida State's still looking at Willie Taggart. This should show you how much money they're going to have to pay Oregon to get this dude out of there if they go get him. Feel me? Kevin Sumlin's going to get some money from UCF, of course. Not as much because it's not a Power 5. My point is, the whole notion that we still watching on Saturdays, we turn on the television and we watch amateur football is ridiculous. Like, everybody's a professional except for the workers, except for the people that's doing the work and risking life and limb. And let's not get it twisted. We talking life, really life and limb. I saw the other day in a basketball game. Was it somebody from Grambling? One of those HBCUs. They had to do CPR on him. Honestly, he passed out. Like, stuff is real. This kid that from Southern that got paralyzed last year playing at the University of Georgia, it's real deal. Now, I'm not saying like a team like Southern should pay their players. They don't even have money to pay down there for the athletic program. But Georgia, you got money to pay people to come in there and basically scrimmage against them and cripple people. But no money for the kids at all. You still want to ride out on that on this notion of education and meals and workout facilities, I'll still maintain those workout facilities ain't for the kids that are there. Those facilities are there for the kids that you want to come in the future. You want them to show up on their campus for their official visits or unofficial visits and be like, damn, this is crazy. This is the reason they used to, I think it's used to or not, they still do. This is the reason they used to like have the little girls, the little sexy girls escort the players around the university or whatnot. They want these kids to understand they finer things. And then you get there in the fall, those girls are still there, but there are others too that aren't as as well put together. Let's say it that way, as the ones you saw on your recruiting trip. I mean, a lot of us have seen that, that bait and switch. Not really a bait and switch, but it is what it is, right? See how much time I got here. I got a couple minutes left in this segment before I break. 404-902-8104. That's the number you want to use if you want to text the show. You want to get in on these conversations on, I'm sorry, I see. Oh, never mind. It's spam. You want to get in on the conversation. You can also leave comments, questions, and criticisms, whatever, below the streaming video here on Facebook. I'm at the numeral 1 MICWITHBIGMIKE. You can also jump inside my live interactive chat room here on Spreaker, man. If you're listening via Spreaker, you see that little thought bubble icon right there. Just click on it. It'll get you in here. You can holler at me. I can holler back at you. We can kind of get a dialogue going or whatever. So yeah, after the break, I want to come back and I want to talk more about the rankings and what's happening and why it's happening and the notion that people are upset. Oh, it's a sham. How do you win your conference championship and don't make it to the Final Four easily? It's not like this equation isn't hard in a lot of different areas, and I'll explain what those areas are on the other side of the break as well. I gotta do on this day as well, where I give you guys factoids and tidbits and historical things that happened on this particular day in history in the world of sports. I'll do that next. Don't forget, if you miss any of the show, or if you want to share the show with your friends, tell them they can get it in a variety of different ways. If I can get it out in English, on demand on Spreaker, SPREAKER.com. Make sure you sign up for your free Spreaker accounts as well, so you can follow my show at the number 1 MICWITHBIGMIKE. The Spreaker app, TuneIn, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and YouTube, and of course the Facebook live stream is pumping right now on the Facebook page. I shall return.
I have one question for you.
Do you or someone you know run a business that could benefit from additional exposure? The One Mic with Big Mike show is currently taking on new sponsors and advertisers. One Mic with Big Mike is currently syndicated across 8 different online platforms, and your company's name could be heard and seen across all 8 as well.
Let's get to work.
Please send all inquiries to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support.
All I need is one mic.
My name is Dale Pazinski. I'm 19 years old, and this is how I live united. I've always been kind of a computer geek, and I found a way to use those skills to help the homeless in my community. For people facing hard times, computer skills and a basic resume are so important. It may seem like a small thing, but it makes a huge difference in people's lives. So with United Way, I created a program where I work with the homeless. Together, we go through their whole job history, write a resume, and then save it on their very own USB drive. We provide workbooks and training certificates. I even budgeted for cupcakes so we can celebrate as a class when one of our people gets a job. That's huge. When somebody says, "Hey man, that job that you helped me apply for, I got it." That's what living united feels like to me. My name is Dale Pazinski. I help people achieve financial independence. So I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
And now, back to One Mic
What are we waiting for? Let's get to it.
with Big Mike.
I have one question for you.
Do you?
You know what I didn't do? I didn't load up any music today. God, what a terrible human being I am. This is the One Mic with Big Mike show, man. Here, back on a Monday, coming off the weekend. Hope everybody had a decent weekend. Hope everybody had a good weekend. The first weekend in December, moving upon getting closer and closer, I guess, to to Christmas or whatnot, where you guys can lie and continue lying to your children. God, he's such a dirtbag. That's all to me. That's all Christmas is, man. It's just another excuse to lie to children. That's what religion is. You know, you get to lie to your kids and tell them, you know, that this fat white man or, you know, black man now, I guess, because everything is racially neutral, which is a good thing, is going to come and bring them gifts. And it has nothing to do with your hard work. You going and taking this white man's crap every damn day to get them these damn gifts. Got nothing to do with that. My mom told me that when I was 4 years old. And you would think at 4 years old that would crush a kid. It empowered me. Like, I went to school. I was either 4 or 5. I probably was 5 years old because I went to school and just crushed every child at my school. Like, I gave them the whole rationale. Like, I'm like, Jeremy, you don't even have no chimney. How Santa Claus gonna get in your house? Through the back porch? Like, this is me at 5 years old, just railing cats. When my mom was like, I still remember that day like it was yesterday. She was standing in front of her, what is it called? The dresser with the mirror. And she's putting her earrings on, getting ready to, you know, get me in the car and take me to school and all that. And she's telling me, and I said something about Santa Claus. I don't remember what I said, or you know what I want from Santa Claus to bring me or something like that. She was like, Santa Claus? I'm your Santa Claus. You see where I'm about to go right now? To work so I can get this money. And I was like, damn, you know what? Damn show. That make more sense than that. Than some dude flying around the world in one damn night. That makes so much more sense. And I went to school and just crushed. I went to school and crushed many a little soul. Yes, stop lying to your children. They need to appreciate the value of $1 and how much you work hard to get them. Trust me, they'll love you for it. Kids are resilient, man. You understand, kids are resilient. They'll become my age and thank you for not being a liar. And they'll be able to trust you more because you're not telling them like fables about fat white men coming to your house late at night and no one got shot. Anyway, the boy I am know those in the building. What up, boy? And you see you on Friday. I was here on Friday. Prompt Freestyle Friday. Didn't see you. Just saying.
Now, let's take a look back. On this day.
Yes, indeed. Monday. It's December. Little chill outside. Not really. Freaking global warming got the whole thing hemmed up. On this day in 1943, baseball commissioner Kennesaw Mountain Landis, he announced that any club was free to employ black players. Imagine that. Some white man having to make an announcement. Now, it's okay, y'all. They're all right. We tried one out. He seemed to be okay. Feel free to indulge now. And they wrecked and ruined the Negro Leagues. Yeah, thanks, Kennesaw Mountain. On this day in 1964, once again, Major League Baseball established a free agent draft that would take effect in 1965. I'm not sure if this had anything to do with Curt Flood. If you don't know who Curt Flood is, Curt Flood was Colin Kaepernick long before Colin Kaepernick. He's the guy who risked it all, man. In a much more fascinating form. And I don't mean fascinating as in good. Like, he went through hell to be able to get baseball to adopt free agency. So all these cats getting paid all this big money in the off season in any sport really via free agency, they can all, white and black and Hispanic and Asian and whoever, they can thank Curt Flood. But I don't know if this necessarily has anything to do with Curt Flood. 1965, maybe. On this day in 1977, the NFL 5,000th game was played. We got one going on tonight, man. Here in Cincinnati, the Bengals and the freaking Steelers are going at it. On this day in 1987, the captain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, was held to only 7 points in a game, establishing an NBA record of 787 straight games with double-digit points. I wonder what happened. Did he get hurt or something? I didn't take the time to look, and I should have. This is one that I really want to know about. I might even after the show check this out. Kareem with the skyhook only scored 7 points? On who? Please. On this day in 1997, the NBA suspended your man, Latrell Sprewell of the Golden Warriors for 1 year. See, I mentioned this on Friday, right? I mentioned the choking happened on this day, on Friday's day, and I thought he got suspended for a year, and yeah, he did. Suspended for a whole year for choking and threatening to kill Coach PJ Carlesimo. That boy Sprewell, boy. On this day in 1997, Barry Sanders, arguably, not much of an argument with me, the best running back to ever play the game of football, of the Detroit Lions set an NFL record when he rushed for over 100 yards in 12 consecutive games. And finally, on this day in 2001, Orenthal James Simpson was involved in an incident with another motorist in Miami, Florida. Simpson was accused of scratching the other motorist's face while pulling off the man's glasses. That boy OJ. He on the loose now, boy. He back. And that is your Monday edition of On This Day. All right. So look, we were talking about I kind of introed the talk of the freaking playoff system and college football's playoff system. Couple things. Let's do this. There's one thing. From my understanding of the people involved, including Kirk Herbstreit, who I read today, walked off the set yesterday when he found out Ohio State wasn't going to make it over Alabama. Ridiculous stage trying to, get clicks and all that. I fell for it. I clicked on it. He's the one that kept saying it's for the best four teams. Best four teams in college football. As a consumer, I'm not mad. I feel like I'm gonna get to see some good football. I get to see Ohio. I get to see Alabama and Clemson for the third straight year. I like the first two. I'm good for another one. I get to see a newcomer in Georgia, and this a-hole, I say that affectionately as being one myself. I get to see Georgia with all these people down here, all their hopes and dreams hanging on this team. Hadn't seen a national championship since 1980. I was 3 years old, and many of the people I know were either that age or younger, and still talk about it like they witnessed it. Please, show ass out here. You saw it on some grainy ass VHS. Anyway, you get to see them against Baker Mayfield's guys, brand new head coach this year, because Bob Stoops. How crazy is that? Bob Stoops decides to step down. His team, the team that he left, ends up in the championship. D-bag. Whatever. Maybe I shouldn't call him a D-bag for that. There's other reason for me to call him a D-bag, but maybe not for that. But anyway, I think I'm good. I don't would USC would have made my playoffs any better? No. Would Wisconsin have? No. Would Ohio State? Maybe not. I'm not trying to see who. I'm not trying to see gimpy ass JT Barrett against that Clemson defense. Are you crazy? No, I'm good. Give me the healthiest guys. I know Alabama's banged up on defense, but I trust them to come and perform more than I do Urban Meyer's guys. Even though, of course, they won the national championship with their third string quarterback, but I wasn't that impressed with that either. A lot of people, the story was cool. Cardell, big black dude, being the third string quarterback. But let's keep it real. They wasn't the best brand of football. They ran the ball hella good to allow Cardell to be as comfortable as he was, because the next year we saw who Cardell was. He was the same dude that got benched the next year. Just saying, man. So this whole idea that Alabama, with their one loss, because they lost the wrong game, essentially, had no business in this playoff. I mean, I would have been okay if the committee had said, it would have been a little bit more questionable, because Ohio State was 8 last week. So for them to go from 8 to jump over Alabama, that was sitting there at 5 and idle, that would have been tough, especially because the game wasn't they didn't push it in on Wisconsin. It was a closely contested game for the most part. So if you're telling me that Wisconsin and Ohio State are equivalent, you definitely can't tell me, or kind of equivalent because of the nature of the score. You damn sure ain't about to be able to tell me that Ohio or that Wisconsin and Alabama are equivalent. I mean, they may be, but yeah, you're gonna have to show me. I got to be from Missouri on that one. You got to show me, and because you can't. Too bad. I already mentioned how the bowl games play out. There's some other bowl games. The New Year's 6, right? USC. I see you. I am no dose. I'm going to address that here in a second. I had before, but you probably didn't hear me. USC at 11-2. It's going to take on Ohio State at 11-2 as well in the Cotton Bowl. That's December 29th. Washington at 10-2. It's going to take on Penn State at 10-2 in the Fiesta Bowl. That's December 30th. Miami at 11-1. That's wrong. They're 11-2 because they lost to Pitt and to Clemson. They're going to take on Wisconsin That's also, no, they're 12-1 because they just only lost to Ohio State. In the Orange Bowl, or if you're from Atlanta, the Orange Bowl, that's December 30th. You got Central Florida. Holla at them. Without their head coach, of course, I mentioned that earlier. 12-0 versus Auburn at 10-3. There is a, I mentioned this on Twitter the other day, or on Facebook, or wherever it was, I don't know. There's a chance that the SEC West champion could end up at 10-4. Ouch. That don't seem right. But yeah, that's college football for you. The same team could have ended up at 10-2 in the college football playoffs had they beaten Georgia, and then still ended the season 11-3. So for those people who want to look at records and all that, I don't think that's the case with Alabama. I just think Alabama's the better team, and they didn't show enough. Yeah, they got credit for a loss, essentially. I know people gonna cry about that, but yeah. Before I move on, as my man tends to do, and you guys can too. You can jump on in this live interactive chat room if you're listening via Spreaker. Click that little thought bubble icon. You can get in here and you can just throw stuff at me. You can also text me at 404-902-8104, 404-902-8104. And of course, the live Facebook stream is pumping, so you can drop any kind of questions or comments or whatever in that joint as well. Now, here's one of those things that people love to say, and people were saying all that year, that Ohio State year, that Cardale Jones year, that I know those are saying he should have left school and got that money, went to the NFL when they were talking about making him a first-round pick. See, this thing has gotten inflated so much. Cardale Jones was never a first-round pick. It went from him being, he'll definitely go in the third round, to as more people talk, it's like the whisper game. You ever play that game where you whisper something in somebody's ear and it goes around the room, and by the time it gets to the last person, it's a totally different thing? That's how this went. All of a sudden, Cardale Jones, with no workout, he had played 3 games. He wasn't going. He was probably going to have. He hadn't had a pro day or any type of realistic evaluation. All of a sudden, people who ain't know nothing was talking about a first round pick. And then when you talk to actual talent evaluators, they said the same thing that I said. They agreed with me that the process was going to flush him out. And it inevitably did the year he did get drafted. The process in itself, when people start dissecting who you are, what your game is, and they start really, really dissecting you after the season, there was no way that Cardale Jones was going to be a third-round pick. And whoever gave him a proper evaluation and said, dude, take your ass back to school. I know you don't like going to school, but take your ass back. You're going to have to compete with JT and what's the boy's name? Braxton Miller. But beat him out and be better. Because as we see now, Cardale Jones on his second team already. Cardale Jones is a Charger. He got drafted by the Bills. There was no way. We've seen first-round draft picks at quarterback. They don't look like that. I mean, let's count Jamarcus Russell, but no, I ain't trying to compare them to. I'm just saying the size and stature. And people just being enamored with their physicality and their makeup. But no, Cardale Jones was never, ever in anybody who counted, like in the black community on Black Twitter, he became a first-round pick. But there was no way that was ever going to happen. Like a third-round pick was still a stretch because, like I said before, he hadn't been through any process. He played a couple of college games, and then all of a sudden he won a championship, and it was like, yep, there it is, franchise quarterback. Not so much. And we're seeing that. The proof is actually in the pudding right now with him. Where was I? Still talking about the my notes are so crappy today because, like I said at the beginning of the show, there wasn't like this bunch of stuff to talk about, but there was these like little things, these little like gnat type things that were there, and it was like, okay, you can comment on it, but there's not like a whole bunch there. Ben McAdoo got fired today, mercifully. And I laughed. Not that he got fired. I laughed because I don't care about any of that. I laughed at Eli Manning. Eli Manning sniveling and choking back tears in front of his locker room, in front of his locker. See? I have no those. See, that's the thing. You get surprised. You know who else is in the league that you don't know who's in the league? Golly. What's that big ass dude? Logan Thomas. Remember Logan Thomas from Virginia Tech? And he played quarterback for the Buccaneers. Then he played a little bit for Oh, no, he didn't play for the Buccaneers. That's the other boy that played for the Buccaneers. But he played for the Cardinals. He got drafted by the Cardinals, or he's a free agent. That dude is playing tight end in Buffalo now. Yes. Logan freaking Thomas, former Virginia Tech quarterback. Anyway, so Ben McAdoo got fired, and I laughed because of Eli Manning, the whole episode last year. And people this year, they still caping for this dude. This week, they still caping for Eli Manning. As though because his name is Manning, he's owed anything. And shout out to Geno, man. Geno is always like getting the short end of the stick, man. And just because he's Geno, man. I got something on Geno coming up at the top of the hour too. So it's to me, it's funny as hell. But no, so Eli Manning had the opportunity last week, right, to start last weekend's game or yesterday's game against the Oakland Raiders. And I guess the arrangement was said to be that if the game was still in hand, that he would continue to play, but if it was anywhere out of hand, that he would come out of the game in favor of Geno Smith. Well, Eli, he declined that offer. He said, hell no, I'm not going to do that just for my streak. Well, the game was close, one, because look, Oakland, they're terrible in the secondary, and then they have Amari Cooper or Michael Crabtree. Amari Cooper for injury, Michael Crabtree for the fight last week with the Keith League. So we talk about a beatable team. Well, at least you can make the game competitive, which Geno did. Now, fast forward to Monday. Ben McAdoo is fired, and then reports come out that Eli Manning is now the starting quarterback again, which means all that has happened now is with you and your pride, your Iron Man streak of 210 games is just that, 210 games. Now you will start a new one if you start this weekend, because it hadn't been confirmed. But if you start this weekend, you will start a new one at one game in a row. I used to, like, being in radio, man, like, as I got more experience and I was around a little bit more and became like one of the old heads, not old heads, but one of the more experienced guys, and younger people would be, they would get frustrated because things weren't moving fast enough, or they thought something would be and it wasn't. And I would always tell them, man, look, just chill out, because things have a way of changing in the blink of an eye. Just chill out. Don't get too emotional about things, and understand that you need to be ready when they do change. Well, same thing with Eli Manning. He could have went in there and played, and then ended up playing the whole game, right? And then came back this week. They got an interim head coach, interim GM. The freaking owner is embarrassed by how it was handled. Like, people going like way too far. Like Michael Strahan, this is the most disrespectful thing I've ever seen. Dude, you lived way too long to be saying this is the most disrespectful thing you ever seen. It ain't like they cut this dude pay. He still had his jersey in his locker, and I'm sure tomorrow his direct deposit will hit on time. So it's not the most disrespectful thing, because then really what you're doing at the back end of that, you disrespecting Geno Smith, which no one cares about, right? No one cares about Geno, but that's what it is, because if this was Eli Manning in the same position that Kurt Warner was in, Kurt Warner's a freaking Hall of Famer, like actual right now. I don't know what he necessarily deserves to be. That's another conversation for another day. But Kurt Warner is a Hall of Fame quarterback. And the New York Giants, the same organization, had him in a position where he was just sitting there warming the seat for Eli. Now, if the situation was the same right now, where there was this high draft pick behind Eli, and it was like, look, we suck. We want to know what we got out of this guy. What did we spend this high draft pick on? If it was the same situation, people would be much more understanding. But because it's that boy, what's Geno's real name? I used to know Geno's real name. Because, like, Geno is his middle name. I can't remember now. I suck so bad with names. But I used to know his whole name. But because it's Geno Smith, it's like, man, this is hella disrespectful. How you bench Eli for Geno? And Geno like, hold on, no, I'm sitting right here. I'm standing right here, dude. Yeah, man, it's wild as hell. You know, I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait to do what? Because I'm doing all this talking about Geno. You guys got to hear what Geno says. So here is the, I guess, fourth installment of my new feature. I call it What?
What?
Wait, what?
What are you saying?
So after the game, Geno was asked. He was asked about a couple of different things. He was asked about whether Ben McAdoo should have his game, and he decided to address one of his former coaches.
I did see one of my ex-coaches say he didn't want me to be his quarterback, and that really upset me. The guy that we saved his job, 2013, we fought our ass off for him, both years. And for him to come out and say that just shows you how much of a coward he is.
What coach are you talking about?
Rex Ryan.
Immediately. He ain't even let Buddy get the question all the way out. Well, Coach Rex Ryan, immediately. Damn right. That's one of the ones that you have loaded. Like you have it, like in the chamber with everything cocked back and just waiting for the opportunity to fire that joint off. Yeah, Rex Ryan. And look, he's right, though, because remember that year when Rex was about to get fired. In the last game, it was all emotional, and they gave Rex his like 1 year extension. So Geno ain't, he ain't tripping. Like, these cats get on TV, man, and get brand new, man. And I'm all about, like, people think it's like, these cats being overly emotional, but no, you call people out, man. Folks want to speak bad on your name. If it mean anything to you, you should be able to speak bad. I ain't saying that, Geno need to find Rex Ryan and swing on him, but nah. But the reality is, Rex thought he could just talk slick about this dude, because Geno hadn't been the best NFL quarterback, of course, right? He had, from day one at the draft, it was problems, it was troubles, you know what I mean? But, my man came back and he's still holding on, still doing his thing, still getting checks, still on the NFL roster. Don't know how much longer that's going to last. It's going to be last, but, for as long as it does, it does. So I got a lot going on right now. I'm looking at my Facebook because, like I said, there's a lot going on as it pertains to this Rob Gronkowski stuff that I'll get to. I don't want to start now. I'll get into like some more of this stuff, the NFL stuff. The LeVar Ball stuff as well. Like your man is like, he's about to start losing some cred with some people, when, all this, he's a great dad thing that people are throwing on him. Yeah, it's like some people just don't know, man. They don't, like a guy like him, he don't see that hourglass. He don't see that sand running through that hourglass and realizing that his time is almost up. He don't see it, and it could be to the detriment of his kids, man. You know what I'm saying? When it's all said and done, like I don't know, I'm not no future teller, no fortune teller, none of those things, but it just seems like you're seeing like little cracks in this foundation, this facade of I don't worry about nothing, I can do anything. My boys are great. They all gonna be one and done. All right, let me check my notes real quick, make sure I ain't jumping too far ahead of this thing. No, I'm not. I'm right here where I want to be, right? So LeVar Ball, if you hadn't heard the news, LeVar Ball, a couple things happened today. The Lakers have re-emphasized the rule about media being in the family and friends area at the Lakers game. Is being dubbed the LeVar Ball rule. Had some dude tell me today on Facebook, this ain't got nothing to do with him. Really? So you think all those media people just happen to be there now for no reason? Well, I mean, that ain't his fault. Well, regardless of if it's fault or not, yeah, this is the reason that people have to bring up rules and and bring rules forward. Then you got your man, then you got them talking about he can't do any more on-court interviews because he's not a credentialed person. Because you remember he did that after the first game, the interview with Stephen A. and what's my man's name? The other dude from ESPN, the white dude. I can't think of it. Stan Verrett, I think. So now he can't do that. And it falls back on something I said last week. Like, he is wearing his welcome thin. Like, while they thought before Magic, he had Magic and all them fool. I strictly believe he conned Magic now, man. Into this, like, yeah, my boy need to be a Laker, this, that, and other. He's going to be great. He's going to be awesome. Got Magic in here talking the craziness about how he's the next me. Yeah, Magic, we saw your rookie year, dude. It was dominant. It wasn't this. That's ridiculousness. And I feel like at some point Magic is going to realize with this kid that he's been had, man. He's been conned by a con man. He had the opportunity to get a better player at the same position, and he didn't because the kid was in L.A. and the kid goes to UCLA and all these things, this homegrown thing, and his dad's pumping him up the way he is. Yep, it's gonna be a little bit of a problem. And then not Stan, not the black dude. Yeah, you're right. Neil is one thing about Neil Everett. I said Verrett. Neil Everett is who I'm thinking about. God, that came to me. I don't know where that came from either. Neil Everett. Like, how do I even know his name? I do, though. It was him. Thanks, I am know those. Whatever you did, it popped the right name in my head for whatever reason. It shouldn't have. I should have probably been able to let it go, but the name was right there, I guess. And also, let's not forget about this whole situation of him coming at Luke Walton twice already. At one point, he called him soft. He called the Lakers coaching staff soft and said, quote, "They're soft. They don't know how to coach my son. I know how to coach him. This is really going to amuse you. I know how to coach him. I tell him to go get the victory. Stop messing around." Thanks, coach. Stop messing around. Go get the victory. That's how he coaches his son. What an idiot. And, Luke Walton took the high road. He was like, he did everything to big up Lonzo. He's selfless. He's unselfish. His teammates love him, all these good things. And then at the very end, he was like, yeah, we're not concerned about what parents think about how we're coaching the team. Yeah, we're content with the team and what is best for the team and how we continue to get better. That's a quote. Yeah, and that's the way he got to play this, man. But eventually, it's going to wear thin for a couple of reasons. Because this kid is somewhere around the 5th or 6th or 7th option on this team. And there are people much, much better than him. And there will be a time of reckoning when the resentment will start to bubble its head up because people gonna want they shine. If it's always on ESPN, Lonzo Ball and the Lakers versus whoever, when really Kyle Kuzma is the best rookie on this team, Evan Ingram is the best player on the team probably, Larry Nance Jr., Contavious Caldwell Pope, the kid hit from here, Julius Randle coming off the bench, Jordan Clarkson. See how many names I'm naming before I get to Lonzo Ball? And this ain't me hating on this kid, because that's the first thing people gonna want to say, you hating. But it don't add up. There's no other player of that accomplishment, which is none at this point, getting that much run as a headliner. That dude had 0 points yesterday against the Rockets. Now the Rockets are playing better defense because you a starting point guard, you got 0 points. Come on, B. 4 assists. So people can't even lean on that. But he's distributing 4 assists, cuz. Yeah, it ain't getting better. People keep saying patient. Tell his pappy that. Yeah, I went there. Tell his pops that. To be patient. Because if he ain't got to be, I don't have to be. I can do exactly what it is that I'm doing and go game by game. And I haven't been doing that, but I could if I wanted to. I can go game by game and break this dude's whole situation down. Now the other thing that happened today, and we might have to pick this up on the other side of the break. He pulled the second kid, the kid that was stealing, Lee Angelo. He pulled him out of UCLA. Now that's curious wording to me. I didn't know a parent could pull a kid out of college, especially if you're not the one footing the bill. You know what I mean? Like, the kid can drop out, he can withdraw, but it's not like junior high where you got to go, take your kid physically, go and get papers and sign your kid out of school. He's a grown ass man, and he pulls him out of UCLA. Now, I told you guys before, from my understanding, I don't follow high school football like this. I know this kid is a 3-star athlete, they say. What else do I have? He's a 3-star athlete, and he also is number. I'm trying to find the number, his ranking, because I don't know what any of it means. I figure if somebody's a 5-star athlete, like his brother, his older brother Lonzo, and his younger brother are, that means they're among the cream of the crop. So if you're around 3, and I'm not sure if they do like halves, like 2.5, 3.5, or whatever. But I figure if you're around 3, that would mean you're like an average, you're an average player, right? So, yeah, he's 226 in his class. I'm not sure if that means anything to anybody, but that's what they have him ranked as, 226. His pappy done took him out of college. And you know what? I'll tell you guys why this happened and why, if anybody wants to start criticizing the parenting and the things that this dude is doing, like, the door is open. So I'll do that next. It is the One Mic with Big Mike show. I'm live right now, as I am every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. On Spreaker.com, the Spreaker app, also on TuneIn. And don't forget, you guys can also check out the Facebook live stream going on right now on my Facebook page. I'm at the number 1 MIC, WITHBIGMIKE. Make sure you like the page, hit that like button, and follow me at the same handle, with the same handle on Twitter and Instagram. And also, if you want to get involved in the show, text me at 404-902-8104. I'll be right back.
I have one question for you.
Do you or someone you know run a business that could benefit from additional exposure? The One Mic with Big Mike show is currently taking on new sponsors and advertisers. One Mic with Big Mike is currently syndicated across 8 different online platforms, and your company's name could be heard and seen across all 8 as well.
Let's get to work.
Please send all inquiries to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support.
All I need is one mic.
Dave, what are you doing?
Just sending a gift to Dave 2037.
Who?
Me in the future. I save a little money from every paycheck as a gift to Dave 2037, so he can spend it on things like anti-gravity boots or a hologram Doberman, something cool like that. I think Dave 2037 deserves it. He worked hard. What are you getting Steve 2037?
I guess I was thinking Steve 2037 would just fend for himself.
Well, all right, but don't expect to be borrowing my anti-gravity boots.
You want to have money in your future? You got to start saving now. Putting some money from every paycheck into a savings account or contributing to your 401k can make a big difference later. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ideas and easy ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
Hey, let's just hope Steve 2037 doesn't get his hands on a cool time machine, because he is going to come back here and knock some sense into you.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
One mic.
I'm back.
It's the One Mic with Big Mike show. Live.
There's no goddamn tape.
Interactive and on demand. One Mic. Yeah, a sports show.
The best move of LeBron's career, man, was dragging his sweaty ball sack right across Draymond Green's the nape of his neck, and getting that dude suspended,
and so much more.
What's going on right now with Donald Trump? This is America, and it tickles me to death when white people are so shocked and appalled by it.
What? It's the One Mic with Big Mike show.
Of course, it's like anything, like ammonia or you sniffing glue is gonna get you high.
You've been warned. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts now. Here he is.
He's real cocky. He's real loudmouth. He's real flamboyant. He don't cow down to people.
Big Mike.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys for starting your week off with your boy here on the One Mic with Big Mike show. Don't forget, if you miss any portion of the first hour of the show, you can always catch up on demand on Spreaker.com, Spreaker.com. Spreaker also has an app for your mobile device, so you can take me with you and share me with all your friends and whoever's around you. I'm also on the TuneIn app, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and of course, YouTube. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and like my Facebook page at the number 1 MIC, WITHBIGMIKE. Also, you can text the show each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday via my text line at 404-902-8104. If you're watching on Facebook Live, at the bottom of the screen, you see the number there. You can also jump inside my live interactive chat room. It's quite easy. Just click the little thought bubble icon you see on the streaming player to get you right up in the building. Hour number 2 here on the One Mic with Big Mike show. Here on a Monday, man, talking about LeVar Ball. LeVar Ball has decided that he wants to, he's pulled another kid out of school. The first kid, the youngest boy, he's pulled him out of high school because he doesn't like the administration. He doesn't like the new coach. After he got the first coach fired, he again doesn't like this coach. So he decided that what he's going to do is homeschool the boy and take him and play pickup games with, I guess, I don't know, former pros is what he said, or something to that nature. I read also today that the youngest kid's eligibility might already be in question vis-a-vis the fact that he has his own signature shoe already, and whatever the business side of things is with that could prevent him from playing at UCLA, where he's already committed. Even though, as I mentioned before the break, LeVar has pulled the middle boy. They pulled him out of UCLA, which is still weird to hear me say. The boy dropped out because with the suggestion of his pops. You know what I mean? That sounds a little bit more adult And yeah, my dad came and pulled me out of college. Wait, what? He dropped out. You know what I mean? And I told you guys I was gonna tell you the reason afterwards, or the not even the purported reason. He said this. And I'm paraphrasing because I didn't have time to look up the quote. I wrote it, I typed it on my notes as I was hearing it from the guy who it was reported to on ESPN. I'm not sitting around and waiting. He wasn't punished this bad in China, referring to the fact that his kid wanted to go to China and steal stuff. He didn't go to jail. He's right. He didn't go to a Chinese prison. And instead, Steve Alford is the coach, right, of UCLA, decided that he was going to punish he and the other two young boys with an indefinite suspension. And I guess for LeVar, and you gotta assume that I'm going to assume that he went to UCLA or called Coach Alford or went to Coach Alford and said, "Look, it's time, man. It's time to put my boy on the court. I got plans for him." Remember, right? All my boys going one and done. That's what we do. That's what the ball boys do. We one and done. Your first boy could have probably, and I rarely say this, could have probably done for another year of college as things look now. Now, he wouldn't have gotten the same checks as he's getting now, but, you know, you wouldn't have me dissecting this game and people like me dissecting this game, how terrible he's been this season. You know what I mean? Like, people giving him credit for throwing long outlet passes. Kevin Love does it all the time. You know what I mean? Kevin Love was doing it at UCLA too, the same school, you know, ironically. So, yeah, it's going to take more than that. You know what I mean? They got this kid in Utah. I can't even think of his name right now, but I just heard about him last week, and then he stepped up and bust somebody's ass for the Pelicans. Sorry, no those. For 41. Young kid, this young rookie, man. Hey, Cass is out here balling in their first year, so it's not really, we're not even talking about guys like Ben Simmons. Like, he's like a rookie plus, right? Spent all last year hurt, but then in rehab, he's working on his body. He's a freaking monster. He got no shot. But but unlike Lonzo Ball, he's a grown man body wise. So like you can try to keep him away from that rim if you want to. Do it at your own peril. So anyway, I'm gonna assume. But yeah, of course, I am no doubt saying he's better off playing in the NBA than college, of course, you know, because college is a sham. How crazy would it be if they sent that dude to the G League? Do they do that with rookies? Probably, right? Not second overall picks, though. Eek. His daddy would lose his mind. His daddy would have an aneurysm, cuz, if that happened. And the reason I bring the G League up is because that is reportedly the plan that LeVar Ball has for the second boy, Leangelo. That, because he's saying, I'm getting him ready for the draft. All the draft experts are saying, what draft? You realize it ain't but 2 rounds. And even if it was like, what did the homie say on ESPN? Even if it was 3 rounds, your boy wouldn't make the cut. Straight up. So there's that. But they say his plan, his master plan, check this out, is to get the second boy on with the Lakers G League team. Now that the teams now are associated directly with their minor league teams or their developmental league teams. What does the G stand for? Why are they calling it G League now? Is that something that people are just doing, or is that like an official change? They're calling it the G League instead of the D League, because the D League actually makes a developmental league if that's what it is. But I can't think of what a G would stand for. The General League, the Good Not Great League. I know those saying that he's correcting me and saying that not just financially. Is it really Gatorade League because it's sponsored? Shout out to them there. Money. He's saying I was wrong in assuming that he just meant financially that this kid is better off playing. Alonzo is better off playing in the NBA. He's better off playing against NBA talent in the NBA than what's in college. Maybe, but it looks as though because from what I saw of him in college, he didn't dominate, and he was nice, but it wasn't like he dominated. It wasn't like what you saw out of like Karl Anthony Towns or what's my man's name, the Brow. You know what I mean? Like these dudes that have these extraterrestrial type skills that you say, okay, why is this dude playing with people's children? I didn't feel that way. I said it all the time about people in football. I said it about like Todd Gurley and Leonard Fournette. Like, why the hell are these grown men playing against other people's children is unfair. I didn't get that feeling. I'll be fair with you. I got that feeling when I saw the couple of games I saw of Ben Simmons. I got that feeling, even though LSU sucked when he was there. I saw the same amount of games, maybe even one or two more games of Lonzo Ball at UCLA, and I never got that feeling that this guy was head and shoulders above the people that he played against. And then it played out when he saw De'Aaron Fox those two times and got his lunch handed to him. You know, so we'll see. You know, you may be right. He may get better, and I think he has the right too. He has the right to get better. It's just this stuff with his dad, man, that's doing it to him. You know what I'm saying? That his dad is the reason that he don't have time. Apparently, 2 nights ago he got a technical. I don't know what it was for. I was just reading today, and it you know I came across it in my reading, trying to just catch up on the NBA stuff. They got a technical the other day. Like, people are saying this kid is handling this stuff well. It doesn't feel like it. Like, just because he's stoic on the outside and he's not saying much or whatever, it doesn't matter. A lot of serial killers are very, very calm people. You know what I mean? And they end up chopping people up too. Not saying this dude's gonna kill nobody, but there could be stuff going on inside of him, man, because of this additional pressure. Him playing in LA, him playing with the pressure of his dad telling everybody he's already better than Steph Curry, the 2-time NBA All MVP, the first time unanimous MVP. Come on, man. Champion. Twice over. So I'll go back to my original point. If his dad ain't giving it time, I don't have to. Straight up. If his dad's not saying, you know what, give my son some time. If he's not doing that, I don't have to. You told me he was going to be great out the box. Everybody got excited when he was playing against substitute teachers and truck drivers in the summer league. And I said the same thing. I said then, call me when he's playing real ass NBA players. Call me then, and we'll have a conversation. Well, it's happening now. And all those people that was like, yeah, Summer League MVP. Come on, man. You got to do better than that. This is true. This is true. I am no dose. If he doesn't get better playing against NBA talent, he was never meant to be an NBA player. I'll bring up again what I heard Greg Anthony say, man. And for those of you who are old enough to see Greg Anthony shoot or play basketball at UNLV with those Running Rebels teams, Greg Anthony wasn't a great shooter. Now, he never became a great shooter, but he became an NBA shooter. You know what I'm saying? And he said the reason is because when you get to the NFL, the NBA, it's your job. So the one thing that's going to happen, he was talking about Ben Simmons. He said the one thing that's going to happen is you're going to become a better shooter. That's what's going to happen. Because you're going to shoot all the time. That's what you do for a living. You ain't got to go to class. You ain't got to go to study hall. You ain't got to go to none of these things. You got to shoot the basketball. So he said, look for Ben Simmons to become a better shooter. The Lonzo Ball thing, I'm just a believer that there's a right way to do certain things, man. Like, you can adjust a little bit here or there. You can, have little quirkiness to your shot. Because, like, Steph Curry's shot is not pure. Like, if you look at his shot and you look at Klay Thompson's shot, Klay Thompson probably has the purest, fundamentally pure shot in the NBA. Steph Curry's shot is a little bit off from that. He shoots it a little bit off to the right of his head to keep his elbow tucked. I can understand why he's doing that. But it's not that Lonzo Ball stuff. It's mechanically. It's too many moving parts within his shot. And it's also very, very slow. The shot that you can get off against a kid from Arizona, you're not going to be able to get that shot off against a Houston Rocket. Trevor Ariza and dudes like that pride themselves on their defense. And if they resist, if they show resistance on changing that shot, what they say, Godspeed. Good luck to you, player. Anyway, getting back to this thing with this kid LiAngelo, the plan, I guess, for LeVar is to have him go to the G League because he has to have all three of his kids play for the Lakers. And I told you that's flawed. Because if you're telling me that they're great, but you're also telling me that the team is going to be great because your oldest son is on it, it can't be both. Because the great young players go early in the draft. The great teams pick late in the draft. The two things just don't match up, man. That's why I always, like, that dude is blowing a whole lot of smoke, and people keep talking about him speaking things into existence. That's not a real thing. Magic is not real. You know what I mean? Just because things happen coincidentally, and because, like I said earlier, he apparently conned Magic and the Lakers into picking this boy at number 2, when they were when now, in hindsight, there were plenty of better options. You know what I mean? There were plenty of better options. They could have kept D'Angelo Russell. They didn't have to move him. D'Angelo Russell's a nice point guard, and if I'm not mistaken, didn't they spend a number 2 pick on him out of Ohio State as well? So yeah, just because somebody conned you, don't mean they spoke it into existence. It's just they know that they're good enough con man. Again, I always reference you and always point you to the White House. I'll point you right on over there and let you understand what a con man can do. And he can also teach other people how to pull the con. The reason why now there's this awesome tax bill that if you hella rich, it's going to make you hella richer. Please believe. Shout out to Antoine Howard, man, checking in here on Facebook. I'm at the number 1 MICWITHBIGMIK if you want to check out the Facebook live stream. All the information is there for you. The phone number is at the bottom of the screen. For those of you who are just listening, you can text me at 404-902-8104 if you want to get in on this Lonzo Ball, LeVar Ball, LiAngelo Ball, whatever the young kid's name is, LaMelo Ball. If you got opinions on it, man, you can holler at your boy, man. I just think it's weird. It's not me. It's something that I don't do. I don't judge people's parenting unless it's like, if it's terrible, if like you got your 3-year-old smoking meth, you're a terrible parent. You know what I mean? Or if the other thing that I call people terrible parents for, if you have your kid worshiping folks that they don't know because they celebrities, you're a terrible parent as well. You know what I mean? Those two things, I'll stick to those. But for anything else, I don't know, man. This stuff might work out for this kid, dropping out of school, or the other kid not going to high school no more. He's in 11th grade. He got 2 years left that he's supposed to be in school. I don't know, man. Maybe we're seeing the dawn of a new way of parenting or whatnot. I don't know. You want to hear something gross? I was reading this weekend speaking of Donald Trump, about this. You know why he's such a freaking doughboy and such a fatty? Cuz he's like a child, man. Like, he is literally, you know how I say that a lot on the show, like he's a child. He lie like a child. Like he speaks in a way that children speak of. Like, everything is so enormous. It's the biggest ever. It's so hyperbolic in the way he describes things, the way like a 7-year-old does. He eats like one too. I was reading this weekend, this dude, after he got the nomination, right? Like, most people go, they grab him some seafood, would go get some seafood, something sophisticated, you know what I'm saying, steak, and you know what I'm saying, something, something good. Especially if you already rich, you would think people who are rich have rich tastes. Not this nub. My man is like the McDonald's king. Like, the dude who wrote the book, who followed him around during the campaign, my man is the king of 2 Big Macs. Do people even eat Big Macs? Like, straight up. Like, all that bread and like the nasty Thousand Island dressing that they call Mac sauce. This fat dude gets he gets the worst things on the menu, basically. 2 Big Macs and then 2 Filet-O-Fishes, which, come on, we all know is not fish. It's like a semblance of it. And whatever a chocolate malted is. I don't even know what that is. Is it like is it a shake? Is that what this dude is calling? A shake, a chocolate malted? That's 2,500 calories for one meal. And he consistently eats that. It's not just like he had it that day. This is what he eats. They got like his ex-wife. Which one is his ex-wife? Ivanka? Melania is the one now. Ivanka, right? Talking about how he just scarf it down too. And like a child, he eat a well done steak with ketchup. That's what children do. Can I get some ketchup on my steak? Now, if you're a grown man, you listening to this, and you do that, stop. If for no other reason than you know now that Donald Trump does that, stop. They say they got to keep like the Air Force One, the plane. They got to keep it stocked with Oreos, like fresh packs of Oreos, because apparently homeboy's a germaphobe also. So he won't eat from a pack of cookies that's already been opened. Like, even if he is the only one that's had any of them, he won't eat them again. They always have to be open, which, you know, rich guy stuff. He just wasted, whatever. Cool. And apparently he doesn't exercise, which is no surprise to anybody. And it's because he has a belief that he believes that all humans are born with a finite amount of energy. So apparently he don't want to waste his on working out, sweating. What am I do? Like, what am I sweat for? To get my spray tan off me? You must be crazy. And mess up this wild, stupid hair I got on my head? Yeah. And please believe, remember I told you guys that 2017 is going to be the last year on Earth? We got like 30 days left or something like that. 20 something days left in the month. And I heard a dude on TV today talking about the threat of war with North Korea. He says it's a 50-50 chance. It's a coin flip, B. Yeah. It's about to go digital. I hope y'all got y'all. I don't know if affairs in order is the right thing, because ain't nobody going to be here after they start launching these nukes in there. Here's what else I learned. I didn't know, like, nuclear weapons or whatever missiles, they go out of space. Like, they got to shoot them out of space and then they come back through the atmosphere. Like, that's like the whole hang up with having them, because you don't just like shoot them across the ocean or whatever. They got to go like hella high to outer space to get to the target if it's like a transcontinental type of deal. So you got to have material on your nuclear weapon like how you would have on a spaceship, so that it would be able to enter. Like, y'all saw Broken, what's the name of the damn movie about the black women that help with the astronaut launch? Whatever, you know what I'm talking about. You got to have the same material on the situation so it can come back down into the atmosphere without burning up. Like, all this North Korea stuff, I'm starting to learn a little bit about like how people, human beings, how much folks are just really into destruction. Because, yeah. Before I break, Colin Kaepernick update. It's pretty much a daily, every show thing on this show. Colin Kaepernick update, but nothing bad today, man. Or it's usually nothing. I don't want to say bad. It's usually nothing bad. It's just like maybe something ignorant is happening. Everyone's kind of settled in now. We realize that my man is done playing football. This is a thing. You know what I mean? Like, I say we, but I mean y'all. You know what I mean? I'm not watching football till Colin Kaepernick gets signed. Well, you're done. I said that to you months ago, and I'm saying it again today. But that man is pushing on, man. He getting like hella awards. I mentioned the one he got last week. He got one. I don't know if it was Tuesday or whenever it was, but he was awarded by the ACLU. I did really mean to look up what that stood for, because I thought I knew, but I don't want to guess and sound even more ignorant. So I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to say he was given an award by the ACLU. It's the Eason Monroe Courageous Advocate Award. And he showed up. My man showed up like a real ass Black Panther, like hella afroed out. That thing is deep, cuz that thing is round and it's like puffy. You know what I mean? It was Sunday, as a matter of fact, Sunday in LA. He showed up and he spoke, you know what I'm saying? And one of the things he said, per CNN's Jill Martin, that we all have an obligation, no matter the risk and regardless of the reward, to stand up for our fellow men and women who are being oppressed, with the understanding that human rights cannot be compromised. My man. You know what I mean? It's what I was talking about on Friday as well, man, when I was talking about how people are still so self-centered in their belief that their rights, especially black people, is who I'm talking about. Black people who I'm talking about. Self-centered in their rights, in their belief that their civil rights are all that matter. So, like, you know, damn the gay people, damn the trans people, damn the Native Americans or the Muslims or the Mexicans or whomever. Damn them. They don't know my plight. when in reality, man, we all in this thing together, man. Like if rich white men are oppressing one group today, and we again look at the White House, but that dude, he's very good at skipping around and sharing the wealth. One day it may be the blacks, next day it's the Mexicans, then it's the Muslims. Apparently, I didn't get to read the article, but I just saw the headline. Apparently, they done let this dude get this Muslim ban thing go. Like almost everything lately here, every little racist thing he want to do, it's gonna pop off. This dude Roy Moore, he's gonna win, and they know it too. That's why everybody, all these people who was like he don't need to win. He's a child molester. All of a sudden now it's like, well, if the people of Alabama choose him, so be it. All of a sudden, right? This dude is gonna win. This dude who love little girls, hate black people, hate Muslims, hate gay people, but love the Lord, apparently. And his gun. He loved the Lord and his guns. This dude is gonna be writing law, cuz we're screwed, man. Like black people, gay people, you know, the gay and lesbian community, trans community, the natives, we screwed, man. Like Donald Trump, like people keep saying, like, you know what, we'll make it, man. We'll be all right after this. Nah. This is gonna put people, man, in a time machine, man. And it's gonna take a certain amount of time to get back to the present, at least. Damn the future. It's gonna take a minute to get back to the present with the crap this dude is doing. My God, you got white folks doing whatever they want to do. I was reading something today from a high school game. The local radio station was calling the high school game, basketball or football or whatever it was, and the people calling the game have now been fired because they chose to describe the players on, I guess, the other team who were who appeared to be of Hispanic descent, calling them foreigners and saying they wish they'd go back to where they came from. This is what people are doing because they don't care no more. Like most people of rational thought would say, you know what, I'm at my gig. I ain't trying to screw this up. These white boys now in the age of Trump, what gig? I'll find somebody else on Facebook who think just the same way I do, and guess what we'll do? We'll work together. We'll get it. He'll give me a job or she'll give me a job. Shoot, man. Yeah, we're screwed, man. I'm gonna take this final break here, a little bit early, a couple minutes early, but I'm gonna take this final break, get in and get out, and go watch me some bad football tonight, some some AFC football. It is the One Mike with Big Mike show. Don't forget, man, you still got time to text me at 404-902-8104, 404-902-8104. You can also, like I said, jump inside my live interactive chat room and get in on these conversations, or like a couple people have done, holler at your boy, my man Robert Stafford, checking in here on Facebook. I'm at One Mike with Big Mike, just the numeral 1, and Mike like M-I-C, and like the microphone, then my name, M-I-K-E, One Mike with Big Mike. Come back, get this NFL stuff out the way, because we got to talk Brady, we got to talk Gronk, we got to talk Marcus Peters, Russell Simmons. Talking about Russell Simmons. We did that Friday. Russell Wilson. Bunch of stuff here. Coming up next on the One Mike with Big Mike show.
I have one question for you.
Do you or someone you know run a business that could benefit from additional exposure? The One Mike with Big Mike show is currently taking on new sponsors and advertisers. One Mike with Big Mike is currently syndicated across 8 different online platforms, and your company's name could be heard and seen across all 8 as well.
Let's get to work.
Please send all inquiries to Mike at onemikewithbigmike.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support.
All I need is one mic.
I'm in almost every school bus and classroom. I go to school with your children. We say the Pledge of Allegiance together. You see me around the neighborhood and you tell me that I'm a pretty good kid. Well, I'm one out of every 5 children in America, and I'm struggling with hunger. This problem is closer than you think. My teacher tells me we can grow up to be whatever we want. I want to grow up to be someone who doesn't go to bed hungry. There's enough food in this country to feed everybody. Please visit feedingamerica.org today and find your local food bank for ways to help. Every dollar you donate helps provide 8 meals for kids like me, quietly struggling with hunger. Together, we are Feeding America. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
And now back to One Mic with Big Mike.
And here we go!
Thank you. You're far too kind. Hey, yeah, man. Shout out to Jay-Z, man. Today is the born day of young H.O., Mr. 444. Like, how old is Hov? How old is Jay-Z? Like 50 years old now? And like, let me tell you something. For my money, I don't know. Like, I don't know that there's a better rapper that ever do it. You know, I know we wanna sometimes hold on to like the Biggie and Pac argument, but longevity, album sales, lyrically, I don't know, man. I don't know necessarily that I can point to somebody who do it better than that dude, than this dude. You know, Sean Carter, Mr. Carter himself. But yeah, today, man, January 4th, the born day of one Jay-Z. For those of you who care about that kind of stuff, I really don't. But the music was there, and it, you know, it brought that to mind. All right, yesterday, the NFL. Before we get out of here, let's talk some NFL. We got the last game of the week going on, about to kick off right now with the Bengals and the Steelers. Bengals at home taking on the what are they, 9-2? Steelers 9-2 right now. But yesterday was hella crazy in the NFL, man. Like, everybody was losing their damn mind. Like, just craziness. First, before I do that, let me give you guys who care, guys and girls who care about this stuff, the current playoff picture and how the seedings go so far. All right, currently the top seeds in the AFC are 1 and 2 respectively. The Pittsburgh Steelers playing right now, and the New England Patriots. In the NFC, it's the Eagles, who lost last night to Russell Wilson and those pesky Seattle Seahawks at the crib, man, which is a hard ask, man. The Vikings beat the Atlanta Falcons, came down here to Atlanta and put a whooping on those Atlanta Falcons, and everybody was all butthurt about it because, of course, they got Saints week this week. They wanted to go into Saints week with a victory. Saints kicking ass, leading everybody and everything in the NFC. Of course, they're not leading the record, but they hot as hell. You know what I mean? They got them a nice little running back, which, you know what? I want to kind of break my arm, patting myself on the back. I remember talking to Alex Kaptov last year, and he was my favorite running back, Alvin Kamara. Outside the normal, outside of the normal guys that we were going to talk about when we was talking about the Leonard Fournettes of the world and the Christian McCaffreys of the world. The guy that stood out to me, based on his workouts, based on the things that were being said about him, was Alvin Kamara, man. And Alvin Kamara, man, seems to be built for this NFL life, man. So he's doing big things with the Saints now. I can't see. The Saints are now the 4th seed, and the Carolina Panthers, as you can see, we got 5 and 4 here in the NFC South. Number 6 is also from the South in the Atlanta Falcons. And, of course, you got the 3rd seed, which is the L.A. Rams out west. In the AFC, you got the Bills hanging in there with that 6th seed. Boy, Tyrod got messed up yesterday, man. Tyrod hurt that knee. And I'm going to tell you like this. This is why, like, I always, like, harp on the fact that these dudes, they don't need to take discounts. Get all your money, man, because Tyrod Taylor's career might be over if this knee injury is of any significance. He's already out in Buffalo. That's already been established a couple of weeks ago with the Nathan Peterman thing. This just makes it easy for them. They can cut him without any further financial ties to him. He signed a deal, the second one in a row, that gave him no type of job security. And now he's getting carted off yesterday with a towel over his head, probably thinking about that. Like, man, what am I going to do? If this is bad, what am I going to do? I'm already 5 foot whatever, and my legs are a big part of my game. So you got them sitting at number 6. Number 3 seed is the Tennessee Titans. They're leading the AFC South. The Jacksonville Jaguars sitting they're at the 5th seed. And I don't know how this is a thing, but the Kansas City Chiefs are still sitting atop that AFC West. They're tied with the Chargers, who started off 0-4. and the Raiders, a Raiders team that struggled to keep guys on the football field. Apparently, Amari Cooper's ankle, he got an ankle injury along with the concussion last week. So now apparently the concussion is less of a concern than it is the ankle. And you know about the Michael Crabtree thing with the fight. All right. So that is your NFL playoff picture here in week. I don't know what week we're in. 13 maybe. Yeah, let's go with 13 or 12. I don't know. As of now. And then there's the things that happened around the game. They happened in the game, but they were kind of around the game. Yesterday, Rob Gronkowski. I don't even know how to explain this. I tried to describe it to somebody earlier to ask me what happened. He just went straight WWE on the kid. The Buffalo Bills DB intercepted a pass from Tom Brady. And after he intercepted it, he was just laying on the ground. Laying like, you know how you like watch TV on your elbows, like, you know, on your stomach. Holding the football. Gronkowski apparently, as he put it, was frustrated that the kid was holding him and kind of yanking him or whatever. But instead of going to the referee and complaining about it or whatever, he just gets a running start and jumps and puts all his weight and just like stage dives or whatever a wrestling move you can think of when you just dive on the back of somebody's head and pushes their head and neck area into the ground. This is what this 270-pound man did to an unsuspected human being. Like, it wasn't like he was looking and could brace for it either. Concussed the dude, bust his mouth, everything, man. He apologized after the game, but who needs an apology? Who cares about an apology after something like that happens? Like, seriously. And one of the things that I'm here watching on Facebook, like the comments and the reactions of the things happening, and I knew it was going to happen, so the post I put was just like, yeah, I'm ready for all this type of outrage, you know, the internet outrage that's going to happen. Because my man is only going to get suspended for one game. I don't know how many games the dude he did it to is going to miss, but Gronkowski's going to miss one game behind that. And depending on what side of things because for whatever reason, like, again, people are so weird about this kind of stuff. No one can see anything rationally because of their fandom or because of their hatred towards the team. It's just weird like that. So everybody's like, yeah, one game's enough. And then other people's like, how is it only one game? Based on what the NFL does, like, you know, dudes get suspended for 4 games for PEDs. And they seem to want people to think that they're serious about this head injury stuff. When you see something like that happen, somebody does something that overt. I don't care about being a first offense. Like, you don't get a lesser sentence if you murder somebody in cold blood. Of course, you can plea down, but you know what I'm saying? If it's a murder beef, you likely going to jail for life. You can't be like, this is the first person I ever killed, Your Honor. Let's be real. I am no those is correcting me again. He said the contract is guaranteed if he's unable to pass a physical. I thought that was the case last year. The contract that they voided last year, I thought they signed to some different verbiage this year because of the things they went through in the offseason. But like, even if that's the case, like, now it makes me wonder because of the fact it makes me wonder because another article I read today, like, Tyrod Taylor is relieved, no serious damage done. I'm like, okay, who put that out there? Was it really him or was it the team? Oh, you're asking? Oh yeah, because there is a question mark behind that, and I just totally ignored it. My bad, dog. No, I think that was the previous contract. Because remember, this offseason, there was this kind of stink about him passing his physical, or they had to pay him or whatever. Then they end up releasing him, and I remember saying, why the hell is Tyrod Taylor not testing free agency? If for no other reason, like, if you really love it in Buffalo and you're going back anyway, if for no other reason to just gauge interest and hopefully drive your price up. But he went back, no fanfare, signed another deal of the same sort that would allow them to get out of the deal at the end of this year without paying him any more money than the money that they paid him this year. And it's like weird, man. Like, a dude that's mobile and can get out of the pocket and take hits, you should want more security than that. So to answer your question, I'm not 100% sure I know those. I do know that was the case with the previous contract. And I was under the impression that part of the contract changed with the one he signed, like a back-to-back years, he signed new contracts, which is so weird. You don't never hear about that in the NFL, especially what starting quarterback. Like you just pay him. Like even with Kurt Warner, if you don't want to pay him, Kirk Cousins got franchised $25 million. It's supposed to be, if they want to do it again that way, if they want to go ahead and go that route, $43 million next year for Kirk Cousins. Now that's not gonna happen. That's too much of your salary cap. You know, even if it is only for 1 year, it's too much of your salary cap on one position. But this is the position that they're in right now. So for Tyrod Taylor to get such a bum deal twice in a row, my gosh, I don't know, man. At some point, man, I'm definitely never the guy that's calling for people's jobs. But whoever negotiated that joint, they shouldn't be confident in their job security. Let's put it that way. And then in the same game, this other thing that no one can, like people just can't see things rationally and objectively. Tom Brady comes off the football field yesterday, right after a scoring drive, a drive that ends in a field goal. And for whatever reason, he wasn't happy with something Josh McDaniel had done. But this wasn't your normal, like Phillip Rivers temper tantrum or somebody get me the ball. This dude was screaming at the top of his lungs to the point where he took his helmet off just so he can get face to face with this dude so he could continue to yell F you and not say F, say the actual word you, over, yelling it over and over and over in this dude's face, this other grown man's face. And I'm like, come on, at some point, man, like, I don't care. Like, people was making the excuse like, they have a working relationship that way and things get heated. Not that way, B. I don't care how close we friends are. Like, first of all, because now you being disrespectful. If I'm your friend, we can disagree. But you being disrespectful and you're acting in a way, where I can't do nothing to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't swing on you because you're Tom Brady, so you're acting in that manner. That's crazy. I can't even understand, man. People was like laughing about it on TV today. Jeff Saturday on whatever, one of those NFL shows, NFL Live or NFL. Oh, somebody got effed up on the football field, man. They got the stretcher out there, the backboard and all kind of craziness. Damn it. Yeah, Jeff Saturday, like, I love it. Really, dude? You love watching this dude disrespect another grown man? And of course, I was one of the first to be like, look, before y'all say anything, just to understand, everybody's going to be talking about this as competitive fire, and this is the type of competitor and leader he is. When, of course, if it were anybody else of a different hue, we'd be having a whole nother conversation. And you know who else noticed that? Your man, who ain't played games in a few weeks, my man Odell Beckham Jr., the ODB, the old dirty bastard. Yeah, he tweeted about it. He said, yeah, I know if it was me, I would have at least got fined for doing something like that. And he's right. So it's not just my imagination. Like, my man Envy, one of my former coworkers, Envy, was like, is this what we doing? This ain't what I'm doing. This is a double standard. This is a big double standard. Because this wasn't just like an argument or, a receiver saying, get me the ball, or him just saying, like, what the hell are you doing? Or any of that. That dude was like, F you, F you, F you. Screaming at this grown man. I don't know, dude. The Decatur in me just, like, I'm not big at like reacting to people's words, but like that's a certain level of assault when you that close to me and like I'm big also though on my personal space. Feel me? Like you getting to be there with me, there's a problem there as well. You know what I mean? And the fact that like my adrenaline would have gotten going. It's like 50,000 people up in here and you disrespecting me. Like, it's like the old me would have just come back for a minute and F this job would have been the first thing in my mind. You know what I mean? I don't need this damn job that much. I was talking to my man, DeMario about this the other day. Like me and him, we kind of like cut from the same cloth, man. Like we'll say F a job in a minute on some just rowdiness, man, and have in the past, so we kind of kindred in that way. Josh Gordon showed up yesterday, clean, you know what I mean, back on the football field. I saw an article say if the majority of his passes were on target, that dude would have broke out with a 200-yard game yesterday. They can do this. They got the natural, the advanced analytics and all these things. You know what I'm saying? They can do all this kind of stuff. Is it Ryan Shazier? It's Ryan Shazier. That's who they're taking off the field right now fast ass linebacker for the Steelers, number 50. Yeah, so Josh Gordon, I think he ended up with like 80 something yards. I saw him do some work yesterday, man. He looked, it's amazing, man. Like, if for nothing else, man, if we can't at some point just appreciate the type of physical specimen these human beings are, man. Like, they're not regular to be able to do the things like this dude ain't played football in 3 years. And he's out there going against other professionals who practice and doing every day for the last couple of years. It's like, ain't no problem to me. With Deshaun Kaiser, young snotty-nosed rookie, throwing him the football. Man, that's weird to me. That's unexplainable. There are no words to describe that. Whatever that is that he is, and most of these dudes are. It's amazing. Best thing that happened to me yesterday. The best thing that happened yesterday, and it continued today. It was like a slow drip, and it was awesome as hell. Marcus M.F.ing Peters, the cornerback for the Kansas City Chiefs. Who were they playing yesterday, by the way? Doesn't matter. End of the game. There's a pass that goes to the end zone. Flags come out. There's a holding on somebody in the Kansas City Chiefs secondary. Marcus Peters gets mad as hell. He picks up the flag that the referee has just thrown and launched that joint into the stands. And if you think that's it, that's funny enough, right? Because, like, Travis Kelce and those dudes, they want to throw it back at the referee. He throws it into the stands. A fan catches it and, of course, keeps it. Why wouldn't you? Couple of young Jewish kids. This is not me profiling. They all had on the little the yarmulkes, so I knew they were three or four Jewish kids just out here hanging out at the Jets game. Yes, they were watching the Jets play. Then my man walks off the football field, so you feel like, okay, man, this is like, you can't do that. You can't just throw the referee's flag to the stands. You got ejected. Well, fast forward to today, I'm reading, apparently homeboy ejected himself. Ain't nobody tell him to leave. He just left. Then I guess when he realized, or maybe he knew the whole time, he wasn't ejected. My son comes back on the football field, no socks, just cleats on, no socks, and the rest of his uniform, just chilling. I was like, yes, I love unadulterated ignorance this way. I love it, and I need more of it in football. In every sport, to be honest with you, like, people like that. It's just like, you know what? Y'all taking this thing too seriously. Because when he walked off the field, he was smiling ear to ear. That was so outstanding to me. And the dude is so slew-footed and knock-kneed. Who was that today? On one of these shows today, somebody was like, he came back out with his shoes on the wrong feet. Well, I think she was serious, but they weren't. He was just so slew-footed and flat-footed. It looked like he had the wrong shoes, the shoes on the wrong damn foot. And finally, man, before I don't know if I want to talk about that. I don't really care about that. Couple things from last night, though, quickly. I mentioned the Saints and Alvin Kamara and just what they look like, even like defensively. I mentioned this a few weeks ago. I know those you remember this, that they look like that team that won the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Somewhat offensively, they're not as explosive offensively in the same way. They're doing a lot more with the ground game and the running backs, which is to be understood because Drew Brees ain't no young man no more. But defensively, they're holding their own, and we're going to get a closer look at them here in the city of Atlanta come Thursday for Thursday Night Football, a game that the Falcons definitely need to win so that the Saints don't just run away with this damn division. And then I don't know how they're going to necessarily fare, man. Like, Julio Jones is doing that thing that he does, man. Like, I know people here in the city, they love Julio, man, because Julio when he give it to you, he give you a lot, like 200, 300 yards. But then when he don't give you nothing, man, it's like 15, 35 yards. Meanwhile, there's a kid that's playing tonight, got a toe injury. Antonio Brown, don't miss no games. Ain't missed the game tonight, I don't think. As far as I know, he's playing tonight. It looked like he was going to play when I looked up at the TV earlier. That dude is awesome, dude. And he don't miss games. Julio miss games, or he leaves games with injury quite often. So, when people start doing that thing that they do, like which one is better? I don't think it's even a choice at this point. I don't think this is a question at this point. Like Julio may be the more physical specimen, the more, oh my God, what is that type dude? But this kid Antonio Brown, yeah, he in the game. He just caught a ball, matter of fact. This kid Antonio Brown, he's there to be reckoned with. So anyway, back to this NFC thing. Look at you. Look. I ain't know those keep me up to date, play by play. Yeah, I'm looking at it. I just saw him just snatch one out the air, one hand. Didn't even put the other hand on the ball till he got to the ground. That dude is so for real at that wide receiver position, man. And I don't know if people just have Julio goggles on or blinders on where they can't appreciate this kid. He's serious. Yeah, he's hella serious. And then it's even more serious because he's not that physically imposing guy. I think at the combine he ran 4.6 at the combine, so he's not like somebody who's like killing it, track speed, Olympic runner speed. But I wanted to talk about what happened last night and this week-to-week thing that we have in football. The Eagles got beat by the Seahawks at the crib. Russell Wilson's doing some crazy stupid stuff on the football field that shouldn't be able to be done outside of a video game, but he's doing it. The one thing I will say, one of the takeaways from this is that I think his offensive line gets a terrible rap, man. Because Russell Wilson, one, he's very, very, he's short, right? And he likes to hold the football. And also, because he's short, he likes to get outside the pocket early. Even at times when he doesn't have to, Russell Wilson gets outside the pocket. And when he doesn't get outside the pocket, because he's short, he has to take such a deep drop. And if you know anything about playing D-line, that's the one thing you love. You love quarterbacks that take deep drops because it aids in the angle, especially coming off the edges. It aids in those angles that you have on those offensive linemen, especially with guys who got good quick get-offs and speed and are typical speed rushers. So this is why people talk about his line is terrible. His line is always so terrible. I don't know if that's the case. I just think it's hard. Like you can be short, you can be Drew Brees, or you can be Cam Newton, right? You can be the mobile, get outside the pocket guy in Cam Newton, big and mobile, or you can be short and kind of immobile, just a pocket passer. But like Russell Wilson's both, and it makes it a little bit harder on his offensive line. Carson Wentz, to me, I still think he played some good football yesterday, but that's a hard ass, man, for anybody. You know the game. You go up to Seattle, it's not going to be no easy win. And he went up there, they competed, but like coaches like to say, right? You just ran out of time at the end, and they really couldn't get a lot going running the football. I still think they're a good team, although people will say that, the Eagles haven't played anybody. They haven't played teams with winning records. And when they finally do, in a team like Seattle, this is who they are. I'm not sure. And I'm confident in saying that about everything regarding NFL football. Everything. You know what I'm saying? Like some of these games are just total trash, one. But then other ones are just so beginning of the season, half you MFers thought, just give the Super Bowl to the Chiefs right now, right? That's what you thought after the first 2, 3, 4 games. Now what? They might not even win that badass division. How you love that? Remember, the Broncos got a Super Bowl caliber defense. Okay, they keep pulling up in this clown car full of bad quarterbacks. They ain't going no damn where. They're terrible. They are terrible, and they're terrible on defense too now. Yeah, that's kind of how that thing tends to matriculate. Y'all don't know, man. Y'all love watching these damn prognosticators. People try to predict who's gonna do what. They don't know nothing. All it is it's a big watch how mad I make this fan base, this insecure fan base. Watch how mad I make them, and y'all fall for it every time. It's like Lucy and Charlie Brown with that damn football. He gonna run up and try to kick it every damn time, and that broad gonna move it every time. But that's who y'all are, with your Skip Baylesses and your Stephen A. Smith. Apparently, I saw this today, and I was like, I'm not posting this on my Facebook. I'm not doing any of these things. Shout out to my man Trey Lamar, man, checking in on Facebook. I'm about to get up out of here in a second, though. Yes, apparently, people calling Stephen A. Smith Screaming A. Smith. He finds that there are racial undertones in that. I mean, maybe, but hey, stop screaming. it wouldn't make sense anymore. Stop yelling to make bad points and stupid points. How about that? Anyway, man, that's going to do it for Monday. I'm going to go get me some Monday Night Football on and some dinner. I sous vide some pork chops yesterday. If y'all don't know about that sous vide life, man, you missing. You losing like in life, period. If you don't know, yeah, look at me. Yeah, matriculate. I got a couple 100 points on the SAT vocab, son. Yeah. Stupid screaming A. Smith vocabulary. That dude. If they can't pontificate my elasticate and then my prognimate, my masturbate. Nah, I'm good on that. Anyway, yeah, I'm about to go eat, watch some football or whatever. Appreciate you guys hanging out, my man. I am no those, holding me down in this chat room. Everybody who checked in on Facebook. If you're listening on demand, which a lot of you tend to do, appreciate you guys as well. Yeah, we'll be back on Wednesday, man. Matt Latowski back on Wednesday for some Monday Night Football, for some fantasy football news as we make our way towards these playoffs in fantasy football. I'm kicking ass, you know what I'm saying? Getting myself in position to make a run at this championship like I do. So we'll do that on Wednesday, man. Once again, man, thank you guys. Don't forget the show is available on demand, Spreaker, TuneIn, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and YouTube. And once again, don't forget, all you need is one mic.